Look at that. Computer finally working once again. My HP 15 laptop, aka HP 15 S039WM notebook laptop. Hey guys, sorry for not making this video sooner since I was busy playing with Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes. Wanna bet? I have those two games with me, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and Sonic Heroes, which I got previously from a previous convention, SoCal Gaming Expo 2022. Alright, so overall I did replace the motherboard after going home from the first day of Anime Riverside 2023, which I had to rush things pretty quickly, didn't have time to record as much. By moving one OS hard drives to another motherboard, it should be able to get devices ready and recognize the system. Overall, I'm surprised that switching the hard drives out from the old motherboard to a new motherboard actually worked out pretty well. Now, keep that in mind, this is not going to be a tutorial video of how I managed to replace the HP 15 S039WM laptop. However, there are some tutorial videos of how to remove the motherboard from this laptop of the model, which I looked up online on YouTube. So overall, I did do a lot of research about hard drive swapping to a new motherboard. Sure enough, it should be able to work just fine. For now, it's going to be a short vlog of how I managed to get the motherboard swap into my old laptop.
As stated, the video was recorded after the first day of Anime Riverside 2023. The item or the laptop came in used but only in part condition, meaning that there's no RAM or OS installed onto the computer. The first thing I did is remove the battery from the laptop and hold the power button to discharge all electrical components inside the motherboard. Then I plug in the battery back into the laptop and test the charger using my old charger. One thing to note is that the computer cannot boot into a BIOS or OS if it does not have a RAM installed. So I took out my used RAM from my old laptop and then placed it onto the other laptop. After booting up the second time, the BIOS should say boot not found, meaning that the computer's motherboard should work just fine, although it does not have an OS or hard drive installed. However, the eBay seller didn't connect the keyboard to the motherboard correctly, so I removed it and plugged it back. Now that I plugged the keyboard back in working condition, it passes the basic hardware tests. The only thing to note is that if there's no USB drive plugged into the computer to true a BIOS update, it will not perform this action. Keep that in mind is that I don't recommend people updating their BIOS as it can either corrupt or compromise their computer. Originally, I had the plan of removing both of my hard drives from my old laptop to the new laptop. However, because of some components from the new laptop are in somewhat of decent shape, I decided to keep my old laptop and perform the motherboard swap. I disassembled my old laptop, which revealed the motherboard and some other components. It took me around 20 to 30 minutes to open up the laptop to reveal the motherboard and my solid-state drive. So I took out the solid-state drive, which contains the Windows OS files. When I unscrewed the bolts from the new laptop, some other bolts were missing, but the new laptop should not interrupt the swapping process. I took out the optical disk drive from the laptop, but I'm not using it. I brought out the new laptop casing for the keyboard, but some of the plastic or metal partially broke off. After opening the new laptop casing, some strips inside also were not connected, but the connectors remain in good condition, even though one strip is a bit mangled. Now, once everything is that, it's time to disassemble the motherboard and install the OS into the new motherboard.
So here it is, my old motherboard right there, and my new motherboard right there.
Both of these laptop motherboards should be identical to each other, so that means I can install the new one into my old laptop casing. I then installed the new motherboard into the old laptop casing with the old connectors, which should work just fine from the new laptop. After 20 minutes of reassembling the old laptop, the BIOS from the new motherboard now boots correctly this time. I had to use the BIOS settings to adjust the boot order due to the Toshiba HDD laptop being the first to boot instead of my SSD. After making changes to the boot order, the OS should boot just normally with getting devices ready.
Yeah! Finally, got the HP laptop working once again after swapping the motherboard. So I'm going to enter the pin privately. Alright, let's see how this works. Oh my, finally, new motherboard and new devices. Everything back in condition. It's going to take a while to load. Oh yeah, apparently, even though I swapped out the motherboard, retained some of the parts, it's still activated with a digital license linked to my Microsoft account. So, of course, it's true. You can swap motherboards with, if only the part is the same as the current one. So after all the voiceovers I did, I say that it finally worked. If you guys do enjoy this vlogging video, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel as well as following me on other social media platforms. This is VlogWithAvroTF signing out.